On November 14, 2022, a petition for divorce was filed with the Chelan County. She noted that no protection order, restraining order was needed. Okay. A parenting plan was also filed where Whitney noted there were no concerns of abandonment, neglect, child abuse, domestic violence, assault, or sex offense. Neither parent had an issue with neglect, emotional or physical problems, substance abuse, lack of emotional ties, use of conflict, or withholding the child. 2 years later, in the future court documents, these checkboxes were later changed. So it seems like she had no concern at first in 2022. 2 years later, things changed. So on January 1st, 2023, both Travis and Whitney completed the supporting child through divorce program at the WSU Extension in Chelan and Douglas County. May 7th, 2023, a findings and conclusions about a marriage document was filed, noting again no protection order or restraining order was needed. March 7th, a parenting plan was finalized, again noting no concerns. Travis was scheduled to have the girls every other weekend. So he used to have them the whole weekend. Every other weekend from Friday at 6 p.m. to Sunday at 6 p.m. Okay, so he used to have them on the weekends. A year later, the court documents, Whitney's opinion on the mental health of her ex-husband appeared to have changed. That's when September 20th, 2024, modification. Maybe this is what kind of, he was having problems already. I wonder if this kind of set him off, but it's still September 2024, and we're in June, June 2025. A modification to the parental schedule was filed by Whitney's attorney. In the documents, Travis is listed as a transient and asking for the court for a major change in the parenting schedule. Whitney says because of his substantial change in one parent situation, the proposed modified parenting plan noted a change to Travis. Specifically, Whitney said that Travis neglected his parental duties towards a child, and Travis has a long-term emotional or physical problem that gets in the way of his ability to parent. Whitney requested Travis to be evaluated for anger management / domestic violence and a full psychiatric evaluation by a licensed psychiatrist to include any potential diagnosis. She wanted the hearing within 30 days of the hearing. She also wanted Travis to enroll in individual counseling sessions with a licensed mental health counselor at least twice a month. She said if Travis did not do these things, the mother would have no choice to further limit visitation. So I wonder if this guy seems like he was already having problems. There's something. I'm sure, like Misi said, I'm sure we don't know the whole story, obviously. But she definitely saw something that was very concerning. But it also seems like to me, like she kind of still like wanted him to get help. It seemed, it's tough, right? You have to protect your kids, but also like taking the kids away from somebody, the other parent. Maybe she felt bad, but she also felt like she had no choice. That's why she started with the limitations. And listen, you need to get this help, or I'm going to have to take the kids full custody. You need to get help. You need to get counseling. You have to go to a psychiatrist. You need to go to a therapist, mental health counselor. Now, did he have these resources? I don't know, right? Because in the article that we watched, they mentioned red tape, a lot of red tape. Did he have access to this mental health stuff? They always tell people. I always feel like they always say, "Oh yeah, go here, go there, get a therapist, get this and that." Sometimes it's not that easy for some people. Or the accessibility. These psychiatrists, they just not all of them, but a lot of them, they just write prescriptions. They'll put you on whatever medication, in and out. I'm here to write you a script and get you out, charge you $300 or charge it to your insurance company, in and out. And then after that, we're barely talking. 5-10 minutes in the office, get out of here. That's it. There are some good therapists you can find though, but yeah, he's homeless. He doesn't have money. Does he have the resources? How long does it take to get one of these people to accept? Some of these doctors don't even take insurance anymore. Some of them, they do not want to deal with the insurance bullshit. They don't want to deal with the ring around. Some of them, some places, you got to pay cash. Cash is the way to go. It sucks. VA is supposed to help. See, the thing with the VA, I've heard a lot of different. It would be nice if Thrift were here, Island Thrift. The thing with the VA, I've heard of a lot of different conflicting stuff. Some people say it's great. I love it. It's worked out for me. It's been great. Other people say it's horrible. So maybe it's like depending where you go, your location, maybe state, city. Maybe it's a varied experience. You know, a lot of these people don't want to deal with insurance. I'm telling you, man. Some of them don't want to. They look at you, or if you have insurance, well, you're only allowed to go to these specific places. And if you go to the wrong place, we're not going to pay. We're not going to cover it. Even getting your prescription. Some of these places, you have to go to CVS. You have to go to Walgreens. You have to go wherever it is, or they're not going to cover your medication. So there's a lot of, and so if you're already having mental health problems, it's going to be maybe hard. Who's going to want to go through the process, talking to these people, getting the runaround? You know, not excusing this guy, not excusing this guy at all. That's horrific because there's a lot of people with mental health issues. They're not going to go kill their kids. But just talking in general about like the problems with some of these systems, and for the vets, you know, people coming out with all these problems after serving for the country, you know, and some tossed aside. I mean, it's even crazy to say transient and veteran together is crazy, right? They should be taken care of. Transient and veteran, homeless, living out of a truck. Right? With all the money that we have, all the money that we send overseas. I'm not going to go to politics, but that's crazy. Crazy. Okay, so yeah, he had a lot of problems, and the mother looks like she started to notice issues was happening. And I wonder if this set him off, this whole thing. If Travis did not do these things, well, I'm going to take the kids. We'll have no choice but to further limit visitation, you know? In a declaration filed in September 2024, Whitney said, since our separation, it has become increasingly clear that Travis has been struggling to maintain stability in his life. The lack of stability led to a negative impact on our children. She said they were deeply affected, which led to heightened emotional stress. This is demonstrated through screaming and crying bouts at drop-off or when they get off a cell phone or off a phone call. Excuse me. This is demonstrated through screaming and crying bouts at drop-off or when they get off a phone call. So is she's saying that he was screaming and crying, or the kids? Maybe him. She said it was in the children's best interest to no longer go overnight until they're with their father until he was no longer home. Yeah, how could you even do that? Yeah, overnight. Were they going to sleep in the car or the truck? That's true too, Misia. Said it was in the children's best interest to no longer go overnight. That's got to be like heartbreaking too. Like just trying to look at it from that perspective. Like you're homeless, you got mental health, you can't no longer provide, you serve the country, whatever. And now the custody, rightfully so, because he needs to get help. The custody is being slowly taken away and restricted. I mean, and you had this nice home, you were a family, and now there's no home, you're out on your own. She knows that Travis is able to attend events for our daughters. He is engaged and demonstrates a genuine love for them, which are meaningful and appreciated by our children. Travis also has some emotional, mental health issues that were primarily the catalyst to the end of our marriage. His borderline personality disorder and narcissism became rampant. She explained in October 2022, Travis moved into the Armory in Wenatchee. A few months later, he moved into an apartment in Wenatchee. When his lease was up, he moved back into the Armory, then purchased an RV. In May 2024, Travis moved to Idaho with his RV, but it was soon repossessed. Interesting. Now, if you remember last night, we all jumped because there was a reported sighting of Travis in Idaho, but police During the press conference while we were live streaming, they said that they checked it out and it's not him. But interesting. Maybe he has some type of ties to Idaho. Okay. There were times that I told him I didn't feel comfortable with the girls staying in the armory with a bunch of strange men. True. Very well. Yeah. She wrote, he told me he was staying in the RV, but then I found out he really was staying at the armory again. So he lied about his location. Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that either. In June 2024, Whitney said she found out the girls were on a mattresses at the armory. He had some outbursts where he has had some outbursts where he has burst into my home against my objections and yelled for the girls. Damn. Yeah, it was a loose cannon. She then details incidents between Travis and the girls that include 8/30/2023, didn't want the girls this weekend, even though it was his weekend. Said the girls walk on eggshells because of how he reprimands the dogs. So that's the other thing too. I thought they said he had a dog and the dog was at the campsite and they recovered the dog where the girls were killed. I thought they said that, something about the dog. Okay, 12/19/2023, Olivia FaceTimed me screaming, crying. Travis was nowhere in sight. Paityn had to go find him and he was with the dogs. Told me Paityn was unattended in the armory with Olivia playing on the lay pull down machine and smashed Olivia's hands. Wasn't comforting her. Olivia and Paityn were crying uncontrollably. Come to find out they had been sleeping in the armory. Wow. Oh man, that's just scary. Yeah, it was just boiling over time. All these events, and again, this is probably just the surface stuff. Or maybe she pointed out the notable things in here. A FaceTime call. Imagine that a kid calls you FaceTime, screaming, crying. Three of your kids are supposed to be with this guy. The dad, nowhere to be found. Left unattended in an armory where there's other people, other strangers, you know. Paityn was unattended in the armory with Olivia playing on the lay pull down machine and smashed Olivia's fingers. Okay, now 7/25/2024, hitchhiked to my house and asked to stay in the basement with the girls 3 hours later, or 3 hours late. So the girls hitchhiked to my house and asked to stay in the basement with the girls 3 hours late. Said he could pick up the girls from the play, but he was hitchhiking, so the stranger would have had to pick them up. This is crazy. So he hitchhiked to her house, asked to stay in the basement with the girls 3 hours late. Said he could pick up the girls from the play, but he was hitchhiking, so a stranger would have picked them up. This is insane, dude. This is crazy. Whitney said that Travis just keeps getting more and more unstable. He has made huge sacrifices to serve our country and loves his girls very much, but he has got to get better for our girls. I do not want to keep Travis from the girls at all. That's what I thought. She's having this inner turmoil, this inner, like, you gotta protect your kids, He has potential. He was a good dad. Something happened to him. But now you're just too unstable. Crazy. The girls are literally in danger. Unattended. Hitchhiking. On September 27, 2024, Whitney and Travis appeared in court to discuss the petition to amend the parental schedule. So he's showing up for these court appearances. According to court minutes, Whitney's attorney told the court that Travis had the children sleep at the armory around dozens of other men. That Travis was homeless and living in his truck. The attorney asked the court to stop the overnight visits with the children until he had secured a safe housing. Once Travis was under oath, he told the court that there was no reason to change the order because he already didn't have enough time with his children. He said he was voluntarily no longer a full-time active army and has more time to spend with the kids. So he wanted to spend time with the kids. He sees this the conditions that he's in. He sees the kids in those conditions as okay, apparently. And he said he voluntarily is no longer full-time active army. The court ordered that there was cause to modify the parenting plan. So I wonder if the court was trying to acquiesce to him a little bit too, just because he's a vet or military, like I wonder if they were trying to like make things work, but it got so bad. Witness attorney asked for Travis to receive a domestic violence evaluation and psychiatric assessment. The attorney also asked that Whitney be given the ability to limit visitation and that Travis should not be allowed to be alone with the children at any point. That was September 27, 2024. Oh, that's got to be like just haunting, like all the history. And you've been telling these people, telling them, he shouldn't be alone with the kids, should be supervised visits. The court documents say Travis objected, saying he liked to take the children camping on the weekends. He said he understood Whitney's concerns about his living situation. He said he had no objection to paying child support, but he was currently unable to pay anything. He said it was important for the children to understand how the world works and how they could learn from his current condition. Lord Almighty. The court disagreed. The court agreed with Whitney and the proposed parenting plan. It also found limiting factors of neglect and emotional, physical problems against Travis. The court ordered Travis to get an anger management / domestic violence evaluation and a psychiatric evaluation by a licensed psychiatrist. KIRO 7 News has reached out to the Chelan County to ask about the progress of those evaluations. So he was granted visitation every other weekend on Fridays from 5 to 8, Saturdays from 11 to 7 p.m., 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Friday, May 30th, just before 10 p.m., the Wenatchee Police Department took a call from Whitney, and he had him return. According to the documents regarding the custodial interference, Whitney told police their divorce was civil, but after he lost his housing, the parenting plan was modified. She denied any domestic violence, even though the neighbor, what we just read, the neighbor's account, that conflicts with this. The neighbor said that she had a broken arm and an arm sling. The guy, Travis, had like a bruising on his face. I don't know if she was trying to protect him or what the situation is, but she denied any domestic violence during the marriage, but did mention moments of power or control he used. The report says Whitney said Travis randomly leaving or waking her up by screaming at her in the middle of the night. It's crazy, dude. She also believes he currently does not take medication. According to the documents, Travis refused to sign the parental modification form and did not seek the mental health, domestic violence, or anger management counseling the court ordered. On the night the children were taken, Whitney said Travis was quieter than usually, which was out of character. Just like the neighbor said. Even though he was already have all these problems, something about that night when he picked up the kids was off. The documents also note the children left home with no supplies for the extended time. It's believed there is a substantial risk of illness or physical injury. Wow. So kudos to KIRO 7 for this article. Very in-depth. Quite a bit of information about the history of this just custody situation, the divorce situation, the potential violence, the instability, the environment that this guy became transient after the divorce. He's bouncing around from place to place, doesn't really have a place to stay, homeless, living out of a truck, has the kids kind of all over the place bouncing. Seems like the kids didn't like it there. I don't know if the courts maybe felt some type of sympathy because he's military, he definitely, considering all the stuff that we read, he shouldn't have had unsupervised visits, and the mother felt like that too. That's, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have had unsupervised visits. If they were supervised, he still might have did something crazy, taking everybody out or taking all these people with him. And I think, to me, it seems like this guy obviously has some mental problems, mental health problems, but also this custody situation kind of drove him over the edge. It's like the final, nail in the coffin. I don't know if he did this to punish the mother, or what he's thinking in his head, and so I don't know, maybe this was his way of taking control back and trying to inflict pain upon everybody else. So I don't know, is he dead or alive?